Hello everyone, a warm good morning to all of you. Would like to welcome to all to our this session of YouTube channel. So, how are you everyone? I hope all good and fine. So, with this continuation of the our SSB Booster Crash Course, we are uh, reach at the part 4, and it is your last punch of the public administrations. So today we are to end the public administration unity from our end. So what we will discuss here. So last day we have discussed about classical public administrative thinker. Now we will discuss the behavioral, uh, the the public administration thinker like Herbert Simon. Then you can see the Chester Bernard, affordable risks, Peter Docker. Okay, so these the four main theory is important for today discussion. Okay, so if I talk about the strategy for cover, then our focus would be pyq, then followed by theory, uh, then heading to the expected questions. Under these things we will try to cover the topic so far so our syllabus is concerned. Okay, so let's start without delay. Okay, and the question first in front of you, and the time start now. So the question about, according to affordable risks, the Sala model and Bazar canteen are the subsystem of industrial society, diffracted society, then prismatic society. So answer we all know, option D, that is how prismatic society. Okay, so moving to next, and the time start now. So question like, choose incorrect with respect to pragmatic society, affordable risks. Option A, overlapping the coexistence of the formally structured organization with unstructured organization. B, the formalism, the gap between the stated objectives and real performance. C, heterogeneity, the coexistence of the modern and traditional administrative structures. D, Sala model, as economic subsystem of the pragmatic society. This one is wrong, because Sala model is your administrative system of the pragmatic society. Hence, this option D is incorrect, and they ask about incorrect. So option D is answer. Okay, then heading to the next, and the time start now. So question is about which analytical have been employed by Fredericks, okay, Fredericks explain to explain his administrative theory. Option A, ecological approach, uh, uh, structural approach, real method building approach, the parochial structural approach. Option B, ecological real modes building. Then option C, ecological approach, the patriarchal structural approach, and idealist method building. Option D, ecological approach, structural functional approach, and ideal modes of the building. Okay, so what would be the answer? So answer of this question is option A. Okay, option A, that we all know in public administrations, affordable risks employed the structural functional approach and the ecological approach, and his idea is real method building. Okay, that means it's not idle, it's not scientific, but it's a real method building. It is based on the cultural setting. Okay, the cultural setting and real method building, like the behavioral schools follow the path of the behavior of humans, the the development of the political theory. But on other hand, classical public administrations is a rigidity, follow the rigidity, and there is a less chance of the development of the political theory. So heading to the next question, and the time start now. So question about who observed that increasing autonomy of the social systems manifest itself in the form of enhanced ability of human societies to save their physical, human, and cultural environment. Okay, before that answer, people have a confusion, it would be the Elton Mayo or the affordable tricks. Okay, but the answer, guys, is option B, affordable tricks. This was a PYQ of year 2023. Most of us, including me, did wrong this question, but we need to understand the difference between Elton Mayo and affordable tricks idea of the humanistic theory of organizations. Okay, so for that we need to you need to be a differentiate clear about a differentiation between Elton Mayo and affordable tricks, because a confusion between affordable tricks and Elton Mayo. So Elton Mayo belong to the new classical theory. Okay, we have already discussed. You should go and refer the previous video, last video, the part 3. There I had discussed regarding this thing. Affordable tricks a behavioral theory. That is how the major difference. One is new classical theory, another one is the behavioral theory. The Elton Mayo is a socio-economic theory. Okay, though though Mayo talks about the humanistic aspect, but at the same time he is a manager of a industry. Being a manager, they always aim at the higher productivity. That is how we need to remember. But affordable risks is a cross cultural study. Okay, his ecological approach is the study of not a single culture, but it's a cross culture study. Okay, then Elton Mayo, the if I talk about what are the important term we use, the worker, the organization, and production. So Elton Mayo study is based on limited to an organization that based on workers, the employees, the production, the higher production productivity, organizations. Okay, within organization, how the humanistic aspect can be there. But affordable risks is a cultural settings, social environment. These are the keyword. Okay, that the public administration should study on the basis of the cultural setting, the surrounding environment, social systems. That is how affordable risks. Then Elton Mayo studies Eurocentric because the study of Elton Mayo was only conducted in the Western Electric Society company. BT Hawthorne studies a different part, aluminum experiment, then your relay assembly, mass interviewing program, bank wiring. All the four study has been conducted in the the Western Electric company in Chicago, USA. So it's a Eurocentrics. But affordable risks is a cross-national study. You will all know affordable risks is a father of comparative public administrations, and he did study the comparative way of the public administration. You can say that while considering the different like the future society, pragmatic society, diffracted society. Okay, so this is how the all now hope this much is clear to you. Coming to the question, so you can see here who observe increasing autonomy of the social system. Autonomy of the social system is the key as a keyword. Manifesto in form of the enhanced ability of human society to save the physical, the human and cultural environment. These are the keyword to understand the affordable risk. The answer is B. Then next question is in front of you, and your time start now. So as the time is up, so question: who identify the three trend like normative to empirical, ideographic to nomothetic, and non-ecological to ecological in comparative study of the public administrations? So answer of this question is affordable risks. Option D is answer. Okay, okay. Then coming to the next question, ecology of administration means what? A social setting to which administration relates, administration of environment, structure of administration, law protection of environment. So answer of this question option A, that I have already told you, social system, environment, cultural setting. These are the key to understand ecologic administration, because ecology means what? Ecology means what? Ecology of administration. First word ecology. Ecology means what? That to understand the system through through ecosystems, through Eurocentric, okay, through culture, social, environmental aspect. So when we talk about ecology of administration, that we should study the administration, not only its environment but also its social setting, its cultural framework, okay, its the environmental surroundings, like what kind of administration it, whether it is a post colonial administrations or it is a the western countries administration. So that we need to understand, that is how ecology of the administration when we talk about the prismatic, the fused and the diffracted. So with this note, let's try to cover some theory part which will be more appropriate for our discussion. So first we will discuss ecology approach. Okay, so in public administration there are different approach: ecological approach, decision making approach. So let's see first ecological approach. Ecological approach, affordable risks is the chief advocate of ecology approach. So ecology approach, chief advocate, affordable risks. Okay, okay, it incorporates the socio cultural, okay, socio cultural and political economic environment within which an environment apparatus is situated. So what we notice, okay, so administrative tools, administrative equipment, or administrative different things are incorporated with the social, cultural, and political economic environment that the for example in India. So in India, the administrative system is different to the South Africa, different to the Western country, because our culture, our political, our economic environment is different. In our scenario, we have the like using the cultural attributes. Say for example, uh, if you notice any kind of administrative, okay, any kind of administrative, there is a still existing of the caste dynamics. Okay, say for example a IS officer from the lower caste. So if you notice in an organizations, even though IS officer from the higher rank, still they face the treatment according to their caste also. People from the lower authority, or in the subordinate of the highest officer, they not ready to accept the order of the IS officer, because they feel the officer from the lower caste, and it is not correct to follow the order and the the recommendation of the a lower caste people, even though he from the higher authority. So this kind of things is right now working in our India also. Okay, if you notice, or if you will try to analyze, you can see. So this is how ecological approach talks about the administration on the basis of the culture, social systems, environment. Okay, these are things. Then then the book of ecology of administration, written by whom? The Affordable Risks. Who wrote a book, The Ecology of Administration, Affordable Risks? Then another book, The Administration in Developing Country. Okay, so who wrote a book, Administration in Developing Country? He like Affordable Risks. Okay, and risks rely on the structural functional method. Okay, so risks basically use the structural functional approach to study the public administration. Okay, structural functional approach. And he classified the society into three, that is a Puget model, pragmatic model, and diffracted model. Okay, so let's see what is the meaning of the Puget model. In Puget model, the traditional society, various social function and social structure are highly diffused. Okay, in traditional society, the social the division of work, the social function, the social structure are not appropriately fragmented or well defined. Okay, okay, then this society had no classification of the function, so there is no development of, we can say, that organization. There is no the the specialization of the functions. Okay, one structure is performing the every kind of activity. Say for example monarchy doing the legislative activity, judiciary activity, educative activity, enactment activity. So this is the society classification. No, there is a much classification. Okay, and a highly agrarian economic is based on barter system. So the society based on agricultural systems or society, and barter system is what, there is no using of the currency, rupees exchange are not there. Okay, it is a barter system in the sense that if I talk about right now what, when we try to bring some product, then we against that we need to pay some amount. But in the future society, there is a barter system. That means if you want to someone something, then in response to that you have to pay some things, okay, to the person, rather than the providing the money or cash. Say for example, according to the fifth model, I want milk somewhere, and against the milk I need to also pay any kind of the things. It can be rice, it can be the wheat. I mean to say that the exchange of the productions, exchange of the goods and service in the is known as the barter system. Okay, is known as the barter system. There is no use of such currency, rupee, or like we are right now use. Okay, So then coming to the next, cultural identity and value are very important for people. Cultural identity means what? Caste, okay, religions, okay, language. Like you people observe that how the language is matter, okay, in feudal society. So there is such like modern concept or development, okay. Then according to epidemiologics, the example of the feudal model is the China and the like pre-revolutionary Salmasius. So they can ask the question according to like the epidemiologics, which country is known as the feudal model, okay. So this country. Then pragmatic model, come to the pragmatic model, it represents the phase of transition, okay. Transition means what? It moves from the feudal society to the diffracted society, so that is how transitions. It is a post-colonial developing country, like India is a post-colonial developing country, like your the South Asian country is a post-colonial developing country. So these countries are part of the pragmatic society, okay. And according to Riggs, there is a three principle of the pragmatic society, that is how heterogeneity, formalisms, then functional overlapping, okay. So heterogeneity means what? Heterogeneity, like there is a coexistence of your both the traditional and modern structure, like in India, the rural society are based on the traditional model of activity. At the same time, the urban society are based on the modern kind of activity and the process, okay. Then formalism like means there is a gap between the existing principle and practice principle. Say for example, we talk about the rule of law, like equality before law. It is mentioned in our system or in our formal document, but guys, we can't say that this thing is basically truly practiced in the society. There is a huge gap between the the codified law and practice law. So this is how formalisms, okay. Formalism and functional overlapping means what? There is like existence of the like structured activity and unstructured activity, and there is overlap of single structure is doing the two activity, and there is overlap. Say for example, judiciary activity is for the review the law, but right now judiciary also enact the law. For example, if there is any pollution, the judiciary also order that there should be disabandoned. Through the PIL, the judiciary also using the executive power. So this is how overlapping, okay. And according to epidemiologists, the Thailand and Philippines is the part of comes under the pragmatic society, as I already told, the post-colonial developing country. Then diffracted model in industrial society, there is a diffracted model, the economy system based on market principles, and there is no cultural identity and rule of the law, and America is example of the diffracted society. So this is your fugitive, pragmatic and diffracted model, the three kind of model. When I talk about ecological administration, according to the epidemiologists, that he studied the different kind of society on the basis of their cultural, environmental, historical setting. Then we will see within pragmatic society, there is a two kind of subsystem, that is how Sala model and Bazar canteen model. So Sala model is an administrative subsystem of the pragmatic society, administrative subsystem, that is how Sala model. Uh, it institutionalized the corruption. In Sala model, what happened? Institutionalized the corruption. Okay, okay, okay. Say for example, electoral bond. So electoral bond means what? It is institutionalized corruptions. Through the using institutions, you are trying to legalize the corruption. That is how example of the Sala model. Okay. Then nepotism, favoritism instead of the merit. You guys also notice like how the nepotism work, how the favoritism work. Okay. So in the recruitment also, say for example, recently one of the state, okay, in one of the state, High Court declared that 1,000 of the recruitment of 2016 is the illegal. Okay, so that means what? The recruitment is not based on the merit. favoritism, nepotism. So that is how Sala model. Then Bazar canteen model, a economic subsystem. So economic subsystem is known as the Bazar canteen model, where the small number of people control the economic society. If you like try to analyze the Indian economic systems, how the economic system of India or the policy of the government with respect to the price, with respect to productions, then you can see that it only like benefit to the the few handful people of the rich industrialist, and we all know, guys, and that how the our Indian societies work. So that is how small number of people is control economic system in the Bazar canteen model. Then exploitation, poverty, social injustice, these are the prevalent conditions in the basically the Bazar canteen model, because there is a poverty are still, unemployment are still in our society, social injustices still are in society, but no one is talk about that things. So if you really observe that how the political party is mobilized to the people during the election, then you can see they don't mobilize the people on the basis of like employment, on the basis of eradication of the poverty, on the basis of providing good facility. Okay, they don't try to mobilize people on that basis, because they don't do that thing. They mobilize in the name of religion, they mobilize in the name of like son of soil theory. Okay, so son of soil theory, so this kind of thing is prevalent in our society. Okay, so it is a very very problematic when we talk about the political system, because political system is all about the empowerment of the masses, the human emancipation of the human society. But that thing is not included in the political manifesto of any political party. So this is a huge drawbacks of our Indian political system, that political party are not ready to fight on the basis of that how they frame the policy. Okay, so how they work for the eradication of unemployment, inflations, poverty. They don't consider that thing. They consider that we create this temple, we create that, okay, they person from the outsides, we are from here. So this is not appropriate now to fighting in a political battle. So this kind of thing prevail in the Bazar canteen model, that the poverty and injustice still exist. Okay, then next, that affordable risks contributions in comparative public administration. Okay, what are the contribution of affordable risks in the with respect to comparative public administration? That in 1967, during the one of the meeting of the group, Riggs outlined the three broad of the trend in comparative public administration, and he wrote a article, the trend in comparative public administration. What are the three trend? Normative to empirical approach, from ideographic to the nomothetics, for non-ecological to ecological. And within that we have a study, we study the ecological approach. So within the trend of the comparative public administration, the one approach is non-ecological to ecological. There we cover the ecological approach. Okay, as I have discussed with you. Then another one is normative towards empirical approaches. What does it mean? Normative means based on the value, based on the principles, based on the scientific study. But empirical means the real study, the fact figure, the expression, the observation study. Okay, okay, so the real study, that is how empirical we all know. From ideography, then next point, from ideography to the nomothetic, that means ideography means what? The individualist, nomothetic means the universals. Okay, so ideography is the principle which is not developed a theory, which is not generalizable in nature. But nomothetics, there is a development of theory, that there is a development of the political thought, and it can be generalized in nature. That is how ideographic to the nomothetic. Okay, so do remember, they can ask the simple question, ideographic to nomothetic means what, or which of the following is a trend of the comparative public administration or not. Okay, so we need to remember ideographic to what's the nomothetic. Okay, like here nomothetic, ideographic. Okay, ideographic to the nomothetic. Then the I have already discussed non-ecological ecology. Okay, then next question, who author the function of educative? Okay, so Chester Bernard, MP Follett, affordable Taylor and Henry file. Okay, so the time start now. So the function of executive we all know in 1920, sorry, my mistake, 19, I guess it's 1930, okay, 1938, that the function of executive written by Chester Bernard, okay, function of executive 1938, Chester Bernard, okay. Then this is how like we need to also cover the Chester Bernard. The thing is that why I am incorporate this question here, because if you analyze in our syllabus there is no mention about Chester Bernard, but the question are do come from this aspect and we need to cover that thing. Okay, so guys, before let you know the uh, moving towards, so I would like to simple request to you that if you like my such kind of quality content and exam oriented the informations, questions, theory and the way of explanations, then I think you should must like our channel. So I will take your 1 minute here to all guys, please like and share with your friends, and I will provide you 1 minute that do like that session, and we will then moving to our the rest of things. Okay, so please quickly like the session if you like our effort. uh, Even if you are not like, then you can unlike our session, you are free to do whatever things. Okay, so guys, I hope you must have like our session. So let's start without delay. The next question regarding Chester Bernard, that elements of an organization, and the time start now. So guys, the time is off, and the answer of this question is like option D, that willingness to cooperate and common objective and communication, that is option D. That is the elements of the organization Chester Bernard. So guys, with this note, I think that we must cover the Chester Bernard in very systematic way, which will ensure that answer the all questions. So without delay, let's start. So phase third, the behavioral challenge 1938 to 1947 mark as era of the challenge to the classical public administration. Okay, so when we talk about Chester Bernard, Herbert Simons, so this scholar belongs to the behavioral approach to the public administration, and behavioral approach to the public administrations. It is when talks about the evolution of the public administration. The third phase of public administration is the behavioral challenge to the public administrations. Okay, so it is a era of the challenge, and that time is dominated by the like work of the Chester Bernard, Herbert Simon. And Chester Bernard in 1938 wrote a book, The Function of the Executive. Okay, Function of Executive, which challenged the politics administration dichotomy. Okay, so you can simply get a book, the question that Chester Bernard Function of Executive is challenged to what? So politics and administrative dichotomy. Okay, and followed by Herbert Simon. So Herbert Simon positively influenced from the Chester Bernard, and he said that classical public administration is merely a proverb and unscientific. So classical public administration is unscientific. It is not based on scientifics. Okay, according to Herbert Simons, in it is merely proverbs. Okay, it is like not as such important. Okay, it is only talks about the like the proverb. Proverb means like there is no such kind of we can say the dynamic activity and different thing. Okay. So that is how the brief introduction of the behavioral approach and how they see to the public administration and how they differ from the classical public administration. Okay. Then if I talk about Chester Bernard is famous for the idea of social order school spiritual father. Okay. So in your on other hand, the classical public administration, which is dominated by the principle of the public administration, politics and administration dichotomy, they believe that there is a the scientific, there is a fixed rule, regulations, general principle for the public administration. But here Chester Bernard highlighted the social order. Okay, that the public administration should look on the basis of social order, social perspectives. Okay, that's why he talks about known as the spiritual father of the social order schools, and he the one who accommodate both formal and informal the principle in the organization. He believes that there are some drawbacks in Elton Mayo's human relation theory, and he tried to uh, uh, like uh, incorporate your informal organization along with the formal organization. So there is a famous statement that Chester Bernard argue that informal organization play a vital role for the good and the sustainable coordinative the function in an the organization. Okay, so that is how both informal and formal organization is most required for an smoothly organization of a company or organization. And he presented the principle of communication, that is seven principle of the communication. So Chester Bernard provided the seven principle of the communication. So what you need to do, guys, in the seven principle of communication, you need to just go and google it, or you can refer book. There you can get seven principle of the communication. They can directly ask the question which of the following is or not a communication according to the principle of the seven principle of the communication, Chester Bernard. And his idea of theory of acceptance theory of authority and zone of indifference. So in this two concept, he portrayed that under which circumstance a employee should accept the authority of the manager. Okay, the communication or the activity should be consistent with the organizational goals. The activity and order must be follow the personal interest of the worker also. The activity and order also compatible with the physical and mental faculty of the worker also. Under this circumstance, the acceptance of the authority the acceptance of authority can be observed. Then zone of indifference. Zone of indifference means what? Under which circumstance the employee can must have to follow the order of the your organizations, and under which circumstance the employee has the option to denied or follow the order of organization, and under which circumstance the employee can completely deny, okay, the order of the organization. So there is how zone of indifference, that if the something part of the organizational ethics comes under the purview of the jurisdiction of the organization, then the employee must follow the order and authority of a higher authority, okay, of organization. That is how zone of indifference, that there is no difference exist between the your employee and the your worker. Okay, that is how zone of indifference. Then zone of questionable zone. Questionable zone means those area which it is depends upon the interest of worker whether they follow or not. Say for example, a person working in organization and the boss of that person says him or her that today we are going to do lunch together in our office, so you should carry your lunch box with you. Okay, so this is how informal activity, this is how it's not according to the organizational principles. Okay, it is up to you whether you can join with the lunch or not. Okay, that is how the questionable zones, it is up to you that you to choose what things. Then the completely deny in the sense, another term is that complete deny in the sense. So if I will show with the help of the box, like this is the way you can understand here. the zone of indifference. So within the organization, whatever things, okay, according to the rule and regulation of organization, whatever things lie, that is known as zone of indifference. And this basically, this area is a questionable area. This area is a questionable area. Say for example, a boss told the boss told you that you all should wear the religious cloth in this specific occasion. Then it is up to you whether you follow or not. Then out of that organizations, if I talk about another principle with like outside the any things which basically lie the outside of the organization, then it is known as what, the basically you can reject completely, okay, or you cannot follow the order because it is out of the organizational activity or organizational jurisdiction. That is how zone of indifference. Okay, okay. Then let's solve the few of the question. So the question is in front of you. So it is all about, I hope now clear, the Chester Bernard, the important concept and book. Okay, book we all will know the function of educative and the element we have discussed, that informal and formal organization, that willingness to work and different things. Then coming to the next question, who had a positive influence upon the Herbert Simon? So option A, Terry, Fayol, White and Bernard. Okay, so what is the answer, guys? So it's very easy question, and I don't think so you need time. So option D is answer, Chester Bernard. As we have already noticed that in behavioral approach, Chester Bernard challenged the classical public administration and followed by Herbert Simon. Herbert Simon influenced for the Chester Bernard, who criticized the administration as merely proverb and scientific. Okay, then moving to the next question, who introduced the logical positivist tradition in the administrative behavior? Okay, administrative behavior, you can simply remember it's a book by a thinker. Who is that person? So it is also very obvious question, and answer of this question is like Herbert Simon, option D, that logical positivity introduced by Herbert Simon in the administrative behavior. Another question, that which one of the following is not a feature of the programmed decision suggested by Herbert Simon? Okay, so what is the answer of this question? You can provide the answer according to Herbert Simon. Programmed decision, non-programmed decision. So guys, the answer of this question is option C, that it's not a feature of the program decision. That means non-program decision. Judgment is a non-program decision, and habits, routine and internal channel is a program decisions. Okay, and I believe that this is big seems to be a new concept for me and also to you, and we will cover that thing. And the last this thing you all know, guys, I know very well. Okay, but the practice purpose I use this thing because they already asked in our questions, okay, in our previous question. But we will discuss this unique concept to which you guys not about that thing. So on this note, let's describe the types of decision. Okay, so Herbert Simon made a distinction between the programmed and non-programmed decision. So you will simply take a question that who make a distinction between program and non-programmed decision. Okay, so let's learn the program decision. The decisions are repetitive, are routine in nature, are standard procedures developed to implement these decision. Okay, say for example, any kind of decision are regularly take place. That is how the habitually take place or routine basis. Say for example, in our cases is a programmed decision. Programmed decision means what? We are preparing for SSB examination. We always take classes, study the book, attempt the questions, then try to fill up the OMR sheet. This is how our habitual actions, and we are doing the thing in a routine wise way. That is how program decision. We do the activity on the basis of the existing programmed existing the schedule and different thing. That is how we do the thing repeatedly. That is how programmed decisions. And what are the element of programmed decision? It is implemented by habit, because we are now habituals. Okay, it is a routine work. Okay, that is how habit. Then adopting the standard, it has a proper standard, that if you study, what we will study, there is a proper standard, proper benchmark, that we have to do this study, this is mentioned in our syllabus. So this is how standard we following the standard. That is how the program decisions.
Then the operating procedure, there is a proper procedure to do any activity. Like right now we are solving the questions, covering the theory. For what? Because it is a procedure to ready for the examination, the operating procedure. Then routine to be carried out by the office people. Okay, the routine which is followed by the office people. In our scenario we also have routine. We have a mention that we will discuss public administration, then foreign policy. In that way we will try to cover all the things. So this is how routine, and it is an organizational structure, and it is in the form of sub goals, and it is a well defined information that what you need to do. There is already defined information that you have to do that thing, you have to do this, that thing, you have to not do that thing. That is how the program decision according to the like Herbert Simons. Okay. uh, but on the other hand, there is a non-programmed decision in which there is a non-routine, ill-structured problem, computer-assisted decision making and operations, research and system analysis. So I can provide a beautiful example here with a context to my scenario. In non-programmed decision making, what in that a particular scenario, the system is not going according to your wish and the established procedures. Sometimes some emergency, sometimes some unavoidable circumstance also exist. Say for example in my scenario, so in last today my mother has been admitted in medicals. So it is unavoidable situations or emergency situation for me. That's why I have to uh, the like uh, compromise with my routine work, compromise with my schedule work. Okay, like you guys know, I was unable to take the class in that 2 days. Okay, and it is what it is known as what non-programmed as like decisions. When something emergency occur, something the unavoidable circumstance, or the we can say that the ill structured problem is occurred. That is how disturb our routine work, our structured work, our procedure work. That is how non-programmed decisions. And you guys all, I believe you all have a experience, or being a humans, that is very quite possible that the non-programmed decisions sometimes also happen with us, because the system is always not according to our wish. Okay, or always not good. So that is how there is a research is required. Okay, I have research that how what need to do, how I can address both the things, study with the care of my mother. That is how non-programmed decision. It is not established principle and different thing. And system analysis also required, because there is a problem, and uh, the if the situational problem occur, then that must be system analysis is required. Okay, then what are the non-programmed decisions? Okay, what are the principles that comes under the non-programmed decision? These are the judgment. Okay, that this kind of the emergency situation or situational activity require judgment, that you need to think. Then intuition means your regional capacity, your rational ability. Okay, work there, and there is a creativity. Okay, because there is no rule and regulation structure that you can apply these existing principle to come out from the problem. And uh, okay, so in that scenario, someone like have to do the creativity, have to do the logic and rationals. Okay, different things. Say for example, you might have a face any kind of the problem. Then in that problem you don't know which things it need to apply there. Okay, there is no existing principle or rule and regulation. In that scenario, you need to do use your creativity, you need to use your brain, you need to brainstorming. Okay, that is how your what the non-programmed decision. And rule of thumbs, something can be also uniquely sort out the problem by your own way. Okay, one thinking. That is a rule of thumbs. Then the selection and training of the executive. Okay, sometimes the training or selections of executive also work to address this kind of non-programmed decision. So this is, I hope, the like you like have a clear understanding what is the program decision and non-program decisions. Okay, according to the Herbert Simons. Okay, then with this note, moving to the next. Who among the following thinker include the intelligence designs choice in the decision making process? Okay, So who basically following in thinker include these things? Okay, option D: Waldos, Herbert Simon, Henry Fayol, and Chester Barnard. So I don't think so. You need time because it's very obvious question. That is how Herbert Simon. Option B is answer. Let's try to cover the theory respect to this question. So Simon and March. Okay. So Simon and March assured there are four sets of activity, that is how intelligence activity, design activity, choice activity, and evaluation activity. So they can simply ask the question, so what are the four sets of activity according to Simon and March: intelligence activity, design activity, choice activity. So guys, I would like to clear here the Simons basically presented the three stages of the decision making, that is intelligence, design, and choice. But later on, with the help of Simon and March, they provide the evaluating activity, another step, that is a follow up. Okay, so that you need to remember. Then, but in general decision making process, it is followed by, so what are the steps included in the decision making process in general? Okay, in general principle, which is not given by anything called, so for example, defining problem. So first we need to define the problem. Okay, so what is problem in our context? Our context, how to prepare in systematic and organized way for the SSB lecture and PGT examination. That is our problem. Then finding alternative, we have a find the alternative. We will take the classes from the YouTube, we will revise the PDF, we will attend the test, we will do the our OMR sheets, we will revise the content, we will again re-evaluate our performance. That is how finding we have different alternatives. Then we select the alternatives. Okay, then we select the alternatives, like people are preparing in self study, people are peopling in like the through social media like YouTube, telegrams, using the different like tool and equipment. That is how we select the alternatives. Then getting feedbacks. After selecting the alternative, we are trying to like get the feedback whether this thing appropriate to work or not. That is our feedback. Then after the feedback, on the basis of the feedback, we finalizing the alternative. So we reach to a conclusion, now this is how work in a way and this is not work in a way. So that is how finalizing alternative. So this is how general decision making process followed when I talk about the steps in the decision making process. Okay, then guys, other important decision making theory we can remember Charles Lindblom. Okay, Charles Lindblom incremental model. Okay, so who presented the incremental model? Charles Lindblom. And he wrote a book, The Science of Modeling Through. So who wrote a book, Science of Modeling Through? Charles Lindblom. Okay, so incremental model, Science of Modeling Through, these are part of the Charles Lindblom's contributions. Then Etogenes, the mixed scanning model. So who developed the mixed scanning model in the decision making approach? Etogenes. Okay, Etogenes, the mixed scanning model. Then garbage can model. So who developed the garbage can model? Cohen, March, and Olsen. Okay, so Cohen, March, and Olsen, the garbage can model. Cohen, March, and Olsen, the garbage can model. Then guys, this is how your the decision making like important decision making theory. And now let's solve the few rest of the question. That question in front of you, Simon, and the time start now, you can provide the answer. The time is off. So Simon proposed a classification of rationality into 6 types and pick out the correct one. So what is the correct one, guys? So all are correct: objective, subjective, deliberative, conscious, rational. So option 3 is answer. Okay, so the like do remember that Simon presented the 6 types of rationality. Okay, so what are the let's learn together. So the type of rationality and Herbert Simon, the 6 type of rationality that you must remember. That objective rational means the correct behavior for maximizing the given values. That means what? The maximizing the given values means the quantitative. Okay, what are the thing present in the current circumstance to maximizing the values of that by using this thing. That is how the objective rationale. Okay. Then subjective rationale means what? Decision maximize the relative to the knowledge of the subject. Okay, according to the knowledge of a subject. Subject means what? The here the subjectively, that means the knowledge of the worker, or knowledge of regarding any subject, that knowledge of the subject relatively. Okay, maximizing the attainment is related to the knowledge of subject according to the knowledge regarding particular subject, or knowledge of worker, with respect to, with proportion to that, to maximizing the what the attainment of the value and different thing. That is how subjective rationale. So subject and subjective rationale, so that is how keyword. Then conscious rationale. Conscious rationale, adjustments of the means to an ends is a conscious process. Okay, the means, the process, the method which incorporate to get the result, that must be consciously planned, that mostly uh, uh, that must be sensitized. Okay, sensitized, that is how consciously rational. Okay, then deliberately rational means what? The adjustment of the means to ends has been deliberately brought about. Okay, that you are setting the goals, target according to your wish, that is how deliberately you put that thing. Okay, some we usually use that we deliberately do that thing, we deliberately criticize that thing, or because that we are spontaneously, or we are automatically trying to do that thing according to our own understanding. That is how deliberately. Okay, then organizational rationale means what? Oriented to the organizational goals. So organizational rationale means what? The decision which is based on the interest of organizational goal. Then personal rationale means what? The decision which is taken on the basis of the individual goals. That is how the six type of rationality according to the Herbert Simon: objective, subjective, conscious, deliberative, organizational, and the personally. Okay, so that could be asked, so please remember. Okay, then moving to the next question. Next question is that and in front of you, and you need to provide the answer. Time start now. So, question: which thinker proposed his theory of decision making as contrary to the total rationality or economic man? Okay, option A: F.W. Taylor, Charles Lindblom, Imtai Etogeni, and none of the above. So, what would be the answer? So, answer of this question is D, none of the above, because Herbert Simon, who basically present the bounded rationality with contrary to the total rationality. So guys, what is bounded rationality, what does it mean, and how it different from the your total rationality? So let's learn with the help of this thing. So concept of bounded rationality: Simon rejected the concept of total rationality and economic man as it is based on totally unrealistic assumptions. Okay, Simon ଏଠି କ'ଣ କହୁଛନ୍ତି? ସାଇମନ୍ ଏଠି କହୁଛନ୍ତି କି ଯେ ଆମେ ଯାହା ବି ଡିସିସନ୍ ନେଉଛନ୍ତି ସୋସାଇଟିରେ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟଲି ପରଫେକ୍ଟ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ଟୋଟାଲ୍ ରାସନାଲିଟି. Say for example, we take any kind of decisions. Okay, we take any kind of decision, like we take a decision that we must crack the SSB lecture or the PGT examination. तो आम कौन कहीपर कि ये टोटाल राशनाल बा टोटाल परफेक्ट आइडिया? नो, there can be like a better option, better perfect idea, like to crack the UPSC. It is also a higher ambition. So there is no decision are perfect in nature. Each and every decision are take place on the basis of limited information, limited knowledge, and limited the cognitive the factor also. Okay, because the people are not itself is perfect, and we are not to know all the things. Okay, so we take the decision according to the existing circumstance. That is how we are, one cannot be a perfect rational. Okay, so even if I can't say that I am totally correct, I am perfect in rationality, no, there is a limitation and there is a foundation. That's why the foundation of rationality, or it is known as the moderate rationality, or it is known as the what, the average rationality. No, there is no perfect rationality according to the Herbert Simon. Okay, so that is how the you all know, that is no our decision is perfect, no our decision is ideal in nature. Okay, all are based on some kind of limitations. So that is how the concept of the bounded rationality. Then he say organization cannot have a total rationality, so that I have already explained you. And he developed the concept of bounded rationality and satisfying. Okay, we trying to satisfy our desire, but it is not maximizing satisfy, it is the moderate satisfies, it is the average satisfying. Okay, that is the idea. Then he wrote a book, the administrative behavior, that is important books. Okay guys, then next question, which is not a books of the David Heston, it's very easy question, that political system, framework of the policy, system analysis of the political life, all are book of David Heston and none of the above. That means all of the book, all are the book of the David Heston. Then management of the objective, the conceptualized by whom, the Peter Docker. Although this thing is not mentioned on syllabus, but they do ask. So let's have a quick look. Practice of management, book by Peter Docker, and he coined the term MBO, not smart, but smart word coined by the George T. Doran. Do you remember? Smart word coined by George T. Doran. And I believe you all, each and everyone, must have Google the full form of the smart and need to provide the things in the comment section. Okay, then he presented the 5 steps in MBO. So management the objective, 5 steps presented in the MBO. Okay, so this is all, like all about your the behavioral thinker and the with respect to the public administration. And on this note we reach to the end of our session. And this was going to be your last session of the public administration, and officially we end here the public administration for the SSB lecture and PGT exam. So hope you find it interesting and valuable, and if you have any kind of suggestion you can share with me. Okay, okay guys, and if you like my effort, please subscribe our channel, please share with your friend. Okay, okay, so thank you so much guys, thank you so much for being part of this lesson. Thank you, have a nice day.